Hello, I'm Liviu Bălan, and today I will speak about Vagrant Synced folders. So let's get started. First thing that I want you to know is that by default, Vagrant will share your project directory, meaning the directory with the Vagrant file, to /Vagrant directory inside of your virtual machine. In order to understand better this concept and make some experiments, let's change the current working directory to Ubuntu-Trusty32, which is a Vagrant project directory of mine. In order to do this, I will use the change directory command. Hit the enter key, and next I will use Vagrant app -- provider VirtualBox in order to start my Vagrant virtual machine. Next, I will use Vagrant SSH in order to connect to my virtual machine. Hit the enter key. And now, if I use ls-al/vagrant, what you will see inside of this directory is the content of my Vagrant project. Now, if you want to convince yourself about this, let's open a new tab. And as you can see, I am on Ubuntu-Trusty32 on my local operating system, on my guest operating system. Now, if I type ls-al here, you will see the same directories and files that I've previously shown you here. Now, the interesting part about this is that if I change the current working directory to /vagrant on my virtual machine, and here if I type ls-al, you will see that now I'm on my Vagrant file, and these are the files from my host operating system. Now, let's create a file named testguest.txt, and let's put the content testguest inside of it. Hit the enter key. If I type ls-al, you will see that the file were created. If I use cat testguest.txt, you will see the testguest inside of it. But if I go to my host operating system, and here if I type ls-al again, you will see the testguest.txt also here. And if I use cat testguest.txt, you will see the testguest content of it. The process can be done from here also, meaning that I can create a test host.txt file with test host string inside of it, hit the enter key, and now if I go to my virtual machine and type ls-al, you will see both testguest.txt and testhost.txt. Let's see what is inside of testhost.txt, and the content is testhost. Now, if I exit my virtual machine, what I will show you next is that I can also share another directory besides the directory project. In order to do this, I will use vi and I will edit the Vagrant file. Here I will search for sync word, and I will type I to enter into the insert mode. As you can see, this is a Vagrant section for sharing the directories, and you have here a description of what you have to do in order to make this happen. And as you can see here, the description is share an additional folder to the guest virtual machine. The first argument is the path on the host to the actual folder. The second argument is the path to the guest to mount the folder. And the optional third argument is a set of non-required options. So what I will do next is to add a new line here, and as you can see here, I have the synced folder option added here, and the first argument here is the path to a new directory named Vagrant data host on my host operating system, and this will be mounted to the /vagrant data guest inside of my virtual machine. This directory will have to be created on my host operating system, and this directory will be created automatically by Vagrant. So let's write and quit this file, and in order to apply the changes, all I have to do is to use Vagrant reload. As you can see, I have a problem with this directory because this directory is not created. In order to repair the problem, all I have to do is to use makedir command and create the directory. Now, if I use Vagrant reload again, everything should be okay. Now, let's follow the steps again. Use Vagrant SSH in order to connect to my virtual machine. And now, if I use ls-al Vagrant, you will see here the content from my Vagrant directory project, and also a new directory, Vagrant data guest, were created by Vagrant. If I use ls-al Vagrant data guest, you will see here a directory with no content. In order to show you how this works, I will change the current working directory to it. Now, all I have to do is to repeat the process of creating test guest and test host and see that everything works well. In order to do this, I will use the echo command in order to create testguest.txt, and if I go to my host operating system and go to my home directory, the directory is Vagrant, is in documents, Vagrant data host. If I use ls-al here, you will see testguest.txt. If I use cat for testguest.txt, you will see the test guest here, and also the process from the host operating system. Let's create testhost.txt, and if I go to my virtual machine and use ls-al, you will see testhost.txt, and if I use cat for test-host.txt, you will see testhost content. So this is how the synced folders works, or the sharing folders in Vagrant. If you want to learn more about Vagrant, about web technologies, you can check out my tutorials on YouTube and also visit my website liviubalan.com. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.